Hello, this is Blanca with Furniture with Imagination, and I am going to be doing today a very small project. I'm going to be using the new embossing gel, and I have some stencils here that we're going to be using on this small wood box that I want to use, to put spring flowers, plants, and that kind of thing. So, yeah, we're going to have a fun with this project, and please don't forget to tag 3 friends because today we're going to be giving away embossing gel, which is a fantastic product. And also tell me from what you're watching. We always enjoy to see where our audience is from. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, so I had secured my stencil now on my wooden box, and I measure to make sure that I had it centered. And now I'm going to be applying my embossing gel. This embossing gel is actually really cool because, as you're going to see, has a gel consistency. And it's actually water-based, which is great. It's an acrylic gel medium that dries clear. If you want to actually apply it on top of already painted item, is going to allow you to see the color underneath to it to show through. But you also will have the ability to tint it with, you can tint it with mica powder, pigment powders, one-step paint, any other paint, and then you're going to create an even more unique look. Now, the way I'm using it here is just going to be, I'm going to paint on top of it. It's going to be like if it's peeking through. So you'll see the finish, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. Now I'm going to do it on the 4 sides of the wooden box, and we're going to let it dry for about an hour and a half. You can accelerate the process with a hair dryer, but it might crack, so I recommend you just let it sit for an hour and a half. Okay, so we're going to do that on the 4 sides. So our detail is fully dry now, and we are ready to apply the paint on top of it. I'm actually going to be painting with Toscana Mill paint, and the color I chose is Scandinavian gray, which is absolutely beautiful. It looks dark here, but when it dries, it's going to be drying like in the bag, a little bit more light. So I am using my chippy brush from Amy Howard at Home. This chippy brush is just fantastic. It's thicker than any other chippy brush you're going to find in any other hardware store. And I'm just lightly painting the wooden box. I scuff sanded it before to remove any top coat, shine, or wax or anything, so my meal paint can stick to it. It has a little bit of tooth. So I'm just doing a light coat, and I'm gonna be doing most likely another coat just to make sure that I have full coverage. And then I'm gonna be applying other colors. But as you see, I'm painting up on top of my raised design, and we're gonna make it look like if it's peeking through. Okay, so it's very easy. This wood is perfect. It's actually the mill paint sticking really well. So we finished now the 4 sides. I'm just gonna be doing the top part, and gonna let it dry for about 20 minutes. And we're going to be doing our other mill paints. My Scandinavian gray mill paint is fully dry. I did apply 2 coats to it just to get the perfect coverage. And then I'm going to be blending 2 other colors. The blue one is Wisteria, and the yellow one is Summer Bonfires. I love these colors. They're beautiful. They actually look a little bit dark, but don't worry about it. They're going to dry a little bit lighter, and we're going to be making a perfect blend of colors, so you're not going to see too much the difference, but it's going to look like it's actually peeling off, and like you could see that this has been painted before with different colors. It's going to be looking really nice. So for this particular technique, I'm using my sea sponge, and I'm just dipping the sponge and my paint, and I'm just dabbing it basically on the places that I want this tone to be. and I want the blue one on top and I want the yellow one at the bottom. And obviously we're going to be blending it so you won't be able to see the difference, too much difference between, you know, how the colors are introduced. So I'm going to be cleaning my blue one in water, and I am going to be taking some of the Scandinavian gray just to blend it so you won't see too much the difference between the blue and the gray, but it's going to look like somehow one of the paints was there before and it has been painted on top. So there's not a lot of difference between one color and the next. So we're just going to be doing that on the 4 sides with my Scandinavian gray. And then you can mix colors. Yeah, you can take the blue, and if you want a little bit more blue on certain parts, you do that. This is the beauty of this technique. You can actually mix the 3 colors at the same time. You can even do more than 3 colors. Look at that beautiful yellow. So I wanna that color scattered in different places. So I'm just putting my base of that color, and then obviously I'm gonna take the blue again and the Scandinavian gray, and I'm gonna be blending those colors. So as I was saying, it's not gonna be noticed too much the transition between one color and the next. You can't really see right now the detail that I embossed there. But we're going to be using our antiquing glaze, and that detail is going to be coming out, okay? Because we're going to remove a little bit of mill paint on it. So I took a little bit more of the gray just to blend the colors, as you can see. And that's pretty much all about this technique. Just it's about blending those colors and making it look really beautiful on that transition. So that's all we're going to be doing. We're going to let it dry, and we're going to be ready for the next step. There you go. Our mill paint is completely dry now, and I love the tones and the different colors that came out. Now, our mill paint actually is chipping off a little bit, and sometimes it happens with mill paint, but it's actually really nice. I'm happy about it. It looks really awesome. So we're going to be applying now our antiquing glaze with our sea sponge, just to give it a like an amber tone on top of it and remove some of the mill paint from my raised stencil or detailed in there. So I am really wetting my sponge, and I'm just going on more heavily on the details I want the mill paint to be removed. And as you can see, it's coming through, peeking through, and that's exactly the effect I wanted to create. And then you just apply on the rest of the piece the antiquing glaze, and we're going to be doing that on the 4 sides. So the next step is that I decided to give it some copper details to the raised area and the top here, and I just wanted to put it on top before anything else, just to make sure that I have the right tone. But what I did basically is a metallic paint, and how I did it is with Glazed Over, and I mixed 1 teaspoon of Glazed Over with 1/4 teaspoon of copper mica powder, and it's a perfect metallic paint. So I am just going to be doing the details, not all the raised stencil part, but just some parts, just to give it the appearance that the copper is being chipping off from the details. So I am doing this with a little artist brush, and it's gonna have to be done in a way where it's not gonna be the whole thing, as I said. So just little bits here and there in the raised areas, and so we have a little bit of copper matching with the rest of the tones of the mill paint. And I think it's gonna look really nice. This metallic paint actually dries really fast, and we're gonna be doing that throughout all the raised details that we have, and then we're gonna be ready for our waxes. Okay, so that's pretty much all. Just make sure I'm touching with my finger where the raised areas are to make sure I apply in different parts, but that's pretty much all. Wow, look at that. Those stones are just so fantastic, and the copper just gave it a perfect touch. So we're ready now for the final step, and it's applying our waxes. So we're gonna start with the light wax and just offload it before you touch the piece, just to make sure you don't have excess wax, because otherwise you're just gonna ruin it. And just start applying in all directions. Don't just apply in one direction, because you don't wanna make markings that you applied something with a tool or a brush or something. So it just goes in every direction as I am doing that. Just move your wrist and make sure that you cover everything. Touch to make sure that everything's covered. I think I'm missing a little bit of the corner there. So just do that until it's fully applied, and you're gonna be doing that on the 4 sides of the piece. Then let it dry a little bit and apply your dark wax then. So there you go. Our planter is fully done. I'm very, very pleased with the colors, the combination, the raised stencil, and the details in copper. I think the whole thing is just really cute. We did this under a few hours, and we got to upcycle a little wooden box that I got at a thrift store for $2. Look at that. Looks like plaster is peeking through, and it's not plaster, it's actually our embossing gel. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please tag 3 friends. We're giving away embossing gel. Tell us from where you're watching, and ask me any questions. I always answer your questions, and I'm actually very happy that you got to see this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, and I hope to see you on my next video. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.